First off, let's talk about Mr. Jay White from AEW. Reportedly, he is not happy with his AEW Full Gear booking, and it's saying here that AEW presented a big show at Full Gear, and he informed saw quite an event. MJF retained his world title in the main event against Jay White, but the Switchblade isn't happy about things. What are they talking about? It says here it was the lowest rated main event in AEW pay-per-view history. It seemed like Jay White may have not been too thrilled about how things turned out either. Reportedly from Pro Wrestling Torch from Wade Keller, it said that Jay White wasn't thrilled about how Tony Khan booked his AEW World Title program. I agree. Or the match against MJF. He had a lot of experience getting over in New Japan Pro Wrestling, but the feud with MJF didn't elevate him at all. Now it says here, based on what was told, how things went with the build in the match against MJF, he might be motivated to shine the tournament. He's still among the top choices for Tony Khan to build around as a top star in his company for years to come. A win here with series of standout matches will elevate him in the AEW universe closer to how New Japan fans viewed him. Now, despite this, they are on to the next angle. Whoever's behind the devil mask, Jay White isn't in the world title picture anymore. Samoa Joe stepped up, cashed in a favor from MJF because he helped the Star of the Earth retain the ROH Tag Team titles at Full Gear, and that was in the 0 Hour event. Now, Jay White, I agree that that program was not the best. Jay White stole MJF's AEW World Title, the Triple B as MJF called it, and he held around for a month. And every time MJ was close to getting his own title back, he would get tapped by Jay White in the Bullet Club Gold, which is Juice Robinson and the Guns. So, and then another thing too that did bury Jay White on a recent episode of Dynamite, he did cut a promo stating that MJF said he won a championship. He retained the championship, had a good match, and he beat Jay White. And as a one-legged man, he lost to, and that really, really made Jay White look bad, despite the fact that he did not win the championship. And then MJF to cut that promo, I think that was the cherry on top. That did not help Jay White's situation. Lord knows will he get any close to the AEW World Title anytime soon, or anymore for that matter. But definitely did not help him at all. So I can see the frustration from Jay White. MJF, I believe him and Jay White had a great match at AEW Full Gear, especially the spot where MJF did the cutter from the middle of the ropes onto the outside the ring. And Jay White just was never built for success. How this feud started, he didn't even have a proper build of how Jay White was a number one contender. They just threw him and MJF together, following MJF defeating Adam Cole at All In, which was in London at the Wembley Stadium. So I agree, Jay White, he should be upset, but he was unbeatable in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now he's pretty much like an afterthought now. Now, last night also, on the other night of Dynamite, he did win the first round of the Continental Classic. He won his first match against Rush, and he earned his 3 points, but I don't think he's going to win that tournament either. But we have to see what else going on in Jay White's career, because he did recently sign with AEW early this year. Only time will tell where else his career is going to go. So, with that being said, let's move along to the next story. So we got here the story about the Young Bucks. Young Bucks in store for creative change in AEW. Let's see what's going on with the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks are experiencing a personality change, as we've seen highlighted on AEW TV as late. Now, according from Brandon Coulter, said the Young Bucks are taking time away from wrestling, but there's more than meets the eye. The Young Bucks are poised for a heel turn if they haven't already undergone one in the eyes of many, but we're told that they won't be alone in that. In addition to the Young Bucks, there have been plans for them to be joined by others. Fightful has learned that Brandon Cutler is at least tentatively slated to continue with the Bucks as they continue their turn. The tweet that Cutler put out indicating Young Bucks are taking time off for wrestling is to further that. They'll be doing a lot of speaking for them on screen and social media forward. See what that's going on. It says that there'll be an alternate format being elite as part of this. Those asked if there's a fight to AEW Young Bucks who signed long-term deals recently. They were mistakenly removed as EVPs on a roster page a couple weeks back, but was quickly rectified. One of the rumored names for the, it says blank here. It said Fightful Select was republished on Fightful. So, I did notice on their website that the Young Bucks were removed as EVPs, and then despite them still being AEW, they did lose to Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega, the Golden Jets, on AEW Full Gear. So that only shows that it was going to be issues, but they said that they are still EVPs and they're taking time off. So it's basically just Young Bucks transitioning into heels. That is creative change. So it looks like Young Bucks are here to stay, not only as talents, but they're still EVPs. That's rather for the worse, not for the better. I think they should be out of EVP position. They don't need to be executive vice presidents. They need to stay talents, focus on being a tag team, putting the best show, putting over who they can, and making their opponents look good and make themselves look good as well. Young Bucks do not need to be in the EVP position. That's why AEW is going the route it's going right now. And you see talents are walking away from AEW, such as Big Swole back in 2019, Cody Rhodes in 2022 last year, Jay Cargill a couple months ago just left, and there are many others I've heard. And John Moxley did the interview with Renee Paquette, his wife, showing that how frustrated he was with the company. So I do believe that as far as the front office goes, they do need to change management there, and I think Young Bucks or some kind of change needs to be made within that front office, because if AEW lose more key people, the company is not going to be up for long, and then we'll end up being WCW 2.0. And that's the last thing we want as wrestling fans. We want to see AEW thrive. We want to see the competition. Will they be ahead of WWE? Never. Will they be better than WWE in the future? No, I don't see that happening either. So they need to just keep getting together. But Young Bucks are not going to be out of their EVP position. They're still there, as stated here. Now let's see what else is going on